Hey, in today's video, I want to talk about why this bass Soli, and I mean Soli as opposed to solo, is genius. I'll see you inside the video. Hey, it's James here from eBassGuitar.com, and last week we released a video called The Cheekiest Bass Guitar Fill Ever. And this was the incredible Don Ciccone fill that you'll hear at the end of the bridge to December 63 by Frankie and Valli and the Four Seasons. And it sounds like this. Also, in the video, I explained how over the years I'd changed the bass fill to this variation. And this prompted a YouTube comment from a guy called Troy who left this brilliant comment which said, "Cheekiest, question mark, exclamation mark, sounds like a trophy given at a girls' short shorts competition." Anyway, the riff is awesome. Kind of a Sir Duke feel going on with it. And Troy is absolutely right because the notes in that fill are very, very similar to some of the ideas that are going on in Stevie Wonder's Sir Duke. So today, I want to take you through that legendary bass Soli because there is so much you guys can learn from it. So let me talk about why this Soli, and I'm using that word as opposed to solo, is genius. So this song, Sir Duke, is a fusion of the funk and the brilliant soul music that Stevie Wonder was doing in the 70s, heavily inspired by his love of big band music from the 1940s. So that's why when you listen to the lyrics in there, there are references to Basie, Miller, Satchmo and Ella in the chorus there. So Basie being Count Basie, Satchmo being Louis Armstrong, Miller being Glenn Miller and Ella being Ella Fitzgerald. So this is heavily inspired by that period of music. And you get that swingy feel in there, which is in the funk swung 16th notes. But also in the middle of the song, you get, a couple of times you get this Soli. And what a Soli is in big band terms, it's where all of the brass instruments, so that is typically 4 trumpets, 4 trombones and 5 saxophones, play in unison together. Sometimes they play in harmony too, but the commonality is they're normally playing something pretty complex and with exactly the same rhythm. Often the rhythm section, the guitar, bass, drums and keyboards can be doubling this up too. And this is the concept which Stevie Wonder has brought to the instrumental section of Sir Duke, which I'm going to talk about today. So the second reason I think the Soli section to Sir Duke is genius is because it uses one fundamental scale, which is the B major pentatonic. And this creates the major pentatonic forward position on the bass guitar, which I'll show you in just a second. And what I want you to notice about this is it uses a ton of box shapes, which makes it fall really nicely under the hand. So let me take you through this. So I want you to play a B at the 2nd fret on the A string, up to a C sharp on the 4th fret on the A string. And I want you to use your first finger there and then shift forward and then play a D sharp with your 3rd finger. And then go onto the D string here, play an F sharp at 4th fret, G sharp, 6th fret, and then the B on the G string there at the 4th fret. And this gives us this scale which just really nicely falls under the hand. So before you do anything, make sure you get that down. Now, the third reason I think this is a genius bass line is because it's one of those benchmarks for bass players. If you can play this, you have a really good working knowledge of how to use the bass guitar fingerboard, because you'll discover this uses everything right from the lowest notes on the fret right to the very highest note on a Fender bass guitar. So I spent a ton of time, probably, I don't know, a month or two when I was 19 years old, working this up very slowly to tempo. And it's one of those things that has just been absolutely seminal ever since. So I really recommend you learning this if you want to push your bass playing up to that next level. In just a second, I'm going to show you this incredible bass Soli, but just before we do, I want you to know there's a completely free PDF which comes with this lesson, which shows you everything everything we're going to discuss in standard notation and tab. There is a link in the description below where you can grab your copy. So this is 8 bars long, and we're going to take this apart roughly 1 bar at a time. So this is the first phrase I want you to learn, which sounds like this. So let's take that apart. So we're going to start off with B there, and then just after the second beat of the bar, we're going to repeat the B and play that phrase there, which is a B, a D sharp, and then a C there. You can slide into the D sharp, which makes it really nice. And then the last part of this little phrase is a C sharp to a G sharp to an F sharp, like that. So play that again. So let's move on to the second bar now, and this is where things get interesting because Nathan Watts, the bass player, chooses to put this up the octave. So we play the very highest note on the bass. It sounds like this. And what you're going to notice is those cheeky chromatic notes, which are just the same concept as Don Ciccone was using in Oh What a Night. So let's take this apart. So just before the first beat of the second bar, we have 2 notes here, which are an F sharp and a G sharp. I would suggest you hammer them. And then we're going to play the B there on the first beat of the bar. Now the next 3 notes, we're going to shift forward and play 3 chromatic notes. A C, a D, C sharp, a D, and a D sharp. So it sounds like this. And to continue on into the rest of the phrase, we have an F sharp, a G sharp, and a B like that. And then we have 3 more chromatic notes to finish this phrase off here. So we have a C sharp, a D, and a D sharp using the top 3 notes of this bass guitar. So this is what the whole phrase sounds like. And again. Try and get a really nice swingy feel into those 16th notes too. So let's put those first 2 phrases together. So let's look at bar 3 of this now. So this starts bang on the beat with a G sharp like that, but then goes into 3 further offbeat notes which sound like this. Like that. And notice the box shape which is coming out here again. So those notes are G sharp the first note, a D sharp, and then an F sharp like that, and then a C sharp. So just play that round and round. Then let's move into the next phrase in the 4th bar, which sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this starts off with a slide into a D sharp, 13th fret on the D string. And then we go down. So another classic box shape there. So that is a C sharp, a B sharp, a B rather, a G sharp, and an F sharp. 5 notes. And then to finish that phrase off, it's which is a C sharp, a B, and a G sharp, and then back to the B like that. And then if you want, on the end of it, you can put this little shake like there, which is really nice. So it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's put the whole of those 2 bars together. So it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So once you've got the first 4 bars together, what I want you to do is grab out a swingy drum track like this one and then put it together and just build it up slowly in tempo. So this is what the first 4 bars sounds like. So guys, we're halfway through the Sir Duke bass soli right now, and I'd love to ask you, if you are enjoying this lesson, please make sure you subscribe to the eBassGuitar YouTube channel, because we release a lesson every single week for beginner to intermediate bass guitar players who want to take their bass playing to that advanced level. So make sure you hit that red subscribe button, which is somewhere around this video. So let's look at the last 4 bars of this incredible bass Soli now. So what I want you to notice is that we have moved largely from using the upper register here, and we're going to move back into the mid register of the bass guitar. So we have a long phrase coming up which sounds like this, which I'm going to split into 2. So here is the first part of that, like so. So let's take that apart. So what I want you to do to begin with is slide into a D sharp on the G string at fret 8. So, and then come back into the box shape with your 3rd finger at fret 6. And then play this, so that, and then we're going to go back into C sharp, B, C sharp, B. Then continue on it. So after those C sharps and Bs, we go to a G sharp, B, G sharp, F sharp, G, like that. So play that slowly. Like that, and once more. Cool. And then once you've got that down, we're going to continue this box shape idea on. So just after the 4th beat of the bar rather, we're going to play F sharp to D sharp to F sharp. So 3, 4, like that. And then we're going to go to D sharp, C sharp, D sharp, C sharp. So play those. 3, 4. And again, 3, 4. And then let's move on. So play those last few notes. So we're going to go back to a B at the 2nd fret, B, C sharp, B to G, like that. And then halfway through the 3rd beat, I want you to hit an F sharp there. So let's put the whole phrase together. And once more. Now it's time to move on to the last 2 bars of it, which sounds like this. So let's take that apart. So let's take apart the first 8 notes. So what I want you to do is play an F sharp, hammer onto the G sharp, then B to the C sharp, push forward. Using that B major pentatonic forward position. Like that. So those are the 8 notes. And then once you've hit the top note, we go from a G sharp to a B like that. Off the beat. And then into the next phrase, which is simply a G to an F sharp to a G. And then the last of these little 3-note phrases, which is simply an F sharp to a D sharp to an F sharp, like that. And then the really cool part is we have these unison stabs at the end, which everybody hits together, particularly with the drums as well, like that, which is 2 F sharps. So the whole phrase sounds like. So that is the whole of the unison Soli. So what I suggest doing is download the PDF which comes with this lesson and slow it right down. Just learn a few notes at a time and then build it up slowly, bar by bar, like I've done in this lesson. Start off at something like 60 beats per minute, like I did when I was 19 years old, and gradually build that tempo up till you can play it. And I promise you, this will be a magnificent thing to play on the bass guitar and will really showcase your skill. So let me play it once more with the drum machine so you can hear the whole of these 8 bars. So guys, that's the end of today's bass guitar lesson. If you enjoyed it, grab that free PDF. If you want to push your bass playing onto that next stage and start hitting those advanced levels, make sure you jump over to eBassGuitar.com. Check out the Bass Lab Plus, that's my private members training program. Also, if you love some more lessons on Stevie Wonder bass lines and to discover his music more, make sure you check out these two videos, one right here and one right here. Cheers! I've been James from eBassGuitar.com.